you just tell me a bit about the actual work you've got here around us to explain it to people?
Yeah, it's a jigsaw randomization sort of process. So what happens here is every Friday for 6 weeks I'm going to be throwing a dice and going around and picking pieces from jigsaws and creating a completely new randomized jigsaw, kind of like that.
And where did the idea for this come from?
Well, it started off with thinking about the conversation between digital and traditional media and how they bounce backwards and forwards. And for example, you remember all flip book style animations and the zoetrope, you know, that one with the slits where you look through and you see the bloke on the horse, those kind of old style animations. Well, in the digital world, online stuff, they became animated GIFs, and then they've gone back into the traditional sort of medium again now with the gifoscope, which is a machine that's made out of 24 frames of GIFs but printed out, and you turn it. So there's this sort of circular relationship between digital and traditional. So that's where it started off, trying to imagine what certain digital processes would look like in traditional mediums like jigsaws.
And I read online, can you tell me a bit about glitch art?
So that was a sort of a part of digital art that I'm interested in. But it strikes me that a lot of glitch art is concerned with how it looks, but I'm more interested in the process. So glitch is obviously when a system goes wrong and it spews out crazy images or sounds that are not what it's supposed to be doing, not programmed to do. So it's sort of taking that aesthetic and then and trying to represent it. But I'm more interested in the process. So I'm trying to replicate the process of certain things like circuit bending or data bending, where people deliberately mess up their old toys with soldering irons or in order to make them glitch and to get random effects out of them. So what I'm doing is taking that process and applying it to an old medium like jigsaws and seeing what comes out, see what it looks like.
This may be a silly question, but obviously every jigsaw has a specific piece that fits into a specific place. If you're just picking a piece of jigsaw, how is it going to fit into the final product?
Yeah, so I've had to have them. They are all commercially available jigsaws because I want to keep that practice from circuit bending. You know, it's your old toys or proper machines. So they're all genuine jigsaw images, but I've had them all cut along exactly the same pattern. So if I can take one piece out of one place and put it into another in exactly the same position. So, for example, G32 on one is G32 on another one. It fits perfect. So that's how I can mix them all up and randomise them.
And can you tell me a bit about circuit bending?
So that's, as I say, it's like when people. That's quite a physical sort of process that people get inside machines, rewire them, and get them to behave in ways that they're not supposed to. The other sort of process that I'm trying to replicate is data bending, which is when you take an image and you can open it and look in the code, and you can get in there and mess it all up and delete bits and add bits, and then save it back as an image, and you've got a glitched image.
Okay, and how long have you thought about doing this? Has this been kind of a first idea, or did you go from somewhere else first?
This one's been a few months in the working out, and I had to make all the jigsaws first as well, which took a long time. It's probably been about 6 months.
And what other kind of work have you done before?
I've done other stuff that deals with different mediums, and if you have a look at my website, geraintedwards.com, you can find some other work there.
Okay, and just finally, what's next? I know you've got a couple of weeks here. Any ideas about where you're going to go next?
This runs until the end of March, so 6 weeks of performances every Friday, and then a 2-week exhibition so when they're finished they'll go on the walls, and then they'll be for sale for the last 2 weeks of it. After that, I don't know. Definitely not jigsaws.